Hey YouTube, Kat here. I've been searching YouTube for, I've just been browsing YouTube all day, and I came across one of my old videos that I made, a long time ago. And it was a video of me in South Carolina still, and yeah, I'm just my mind is blown. Um, to basically restate what was on that video, since I do not have access to the account that it's on anymore. Um, Basically saying that I have been knitting since I was in the 8th grade, and I'm 21 now, so that is a pretty long while. Um, and I've actually been progressing, even though that my knitting, my I guess you could call it a career in knitting. But my career in knitting hasn't really escalated too much. I was always a person who was able to cast on all the time, but never could knit it all the way and get done with it. So, if everyone remembers my little vest here, which is pretty cute, I like it. I like how it came out. Um, my vest is my first finished project. So there's that. Um, the fact that I finished one thing is really leading me to finish my entrelac scarf. And yeah, just, it always amazes me, especially when I look back when I first started knitting. It was, excuse me, I'm tired today. It was when I was in middle school, and I was going to school at um, Explorer College Preparatory. That was the old Melrose Elementary School, I think. No, the Burbank Elementary School up in Oakland. And it was me and a few others, because we had an amazing teacher. We always we had an amazing teacher who taught us how to knit, and I really, really miss her. I haven't heard from her since I was in middle school, since I got promoted out of middle school into high school. I haven't really seen her. But whenever I pick up my needles and actually start stitching and all, I think of how life used to be back then. How me and my friends at that time would come into our advisory class, because we had an advisory class, and we just picked up our needles and went to town. There was one time where it was poetry. It was a poetry day, and I was knitting something with a raven on it, and I'm like, I'm going to make my poem and my knitting match. So I picked The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, and there was one person that said, "Oh, that's bad. That's you're saying a spell and da da da." I'm like, "No, it's the oldest poem in the book." There's a bunch of old poems, and I don't remember who told me that, but yeah, I could tell. Jesus. I'm sorry if I'm yawning so much. I normally don't do this. I'm sorry if I sound sick. Um, yeah, she just always kept saying that I worship the devil. And then again, back then, I used to have like this little punk goth streak, so yeah. Um, there's times where I wish I would go back to that time. At the same time, I don't want to because it was a bad time for me back then. And that's why I picked up the knitting needle so quickly, is because it was a bad time for me back then. My grandmother had died. I moved to a new school. My boyfriend at the time, even though we were just hanging out most of the time and had the occasional smooch on the cheek, but my boyfriend at the time, we had just broken up and all because our his grades were slipping. Mine wasn't. I was actually doing well in school at that time. And then when that happened, everything just plummeted. Um, I was also robbed at gunpoint. I'm not gonna say by who, or I'm not gonna go into any details because I just don't want to relive that. And for the respect of the person that unfortunately did that, I I actually want to apologize to that person. But that that's a different day. That's a completely different topic. Anyways, but at that time life was really, really hard for me, and it was easy for me to pick up the needles and just go to town on it. I may be a knitter for God knows how long, but there's still a lot of things I do not know. There's still a lot of things I wish I learned, and I wish I had learned from my teacher that taught me how to knit. But anyways, enough of the flash from my past there. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.